Next is a presentation, update on the progress of the Jepson Parkway project, and we're doing this because we're getting a lot of questions from people who live out in the area. When are they going to be able to ride freely up and down Leisure-Town Road again?
Thank you, Mayor. This evening we have Tracy, Rideout, and Patrick Kinney from our Public Works Department to provide the update that was requested at the last council meeting on the status of the Jepson project.
Good evening, Mayor Augustine, Vice Mayor Harris, members of council. My name is Tracy Rideout. I'm a senior civil engineer with the Engineering Services Division. I'm here with Patrick Kinney, also a senior civil engineer and resident engineer for the project. We're happy to provide you with this update on the Jepson Parkway Road widening project. I'm sure you're all familiar with the project. We've been here a number of times talking about it. Go ahead. The project does include widening of Leisure-Town Road from northern terminus at Commerce Place, just north of Elmira Road, and it continues south on Leisure-Town Road to the intersection of Vanden Road and Leisure-Town Road, and then south on Vanden Road for approximately 2,000 feet to the southern city limit. This project was awarded by council on December 13th, 2016 to Tykert Construction. Project was awarded just over $26.5 million. That was approximately 17% below the engineer's estimate. And it had in it 500 working days, which scheduled completion for spring of 2019. Majority of this project was designed in-house by Engineering Services, and also a majority of the construction management is being done by Construction Services of Public Works Department. That construction management is being led by the resident engineer, Patrick Kinney, and he is going to provide you with an update on the progress of the construction.
Thank you, Tracy. Before I get started, I'd like to let you know that I'm also assisted by Bally Cooper & Associates with the Construction Management Services, Mark Thomas & Associates with, or Mark Thomas & Company with Construction Surveying Staking, and RMA Group for Geotechnical and Materials Testing. As part of the construction progress, work began on April 3rd, about 7 months ago. As of last week, we've had 140 days of work, which is about 28% of the project timeline has been completed. However, the work completed to date, as far as bid items go, is over 80% complete. In fact, within the first 6 months, we have completed nearly $19.2 million worth of infrastructure work out there, which is averaging over $3.2 million per month. How do we get here? Well, we did a short-term road closures on 3 particular areas. One area was on Leisure-Town Road from Elmira to Alamo. The road closure started on May 1st, and on August 1st, it was open to 1 lane in each direction, including Marshall was open to Leisure-Town Road in that area. The second area was Redstone to Vanden. Here, the road closure again started on May 1st, and it was open to traffic, again, 1 lane in each direction on September 18th. And the final area of the road closure on Leisure-Town Road is basically from Sparrowhawk to Redstone. That's this area down to here. And that started on June 15th and is currently ongoing. Right now, the anticipated date to reopen is December 1st. As far as construction progress with large group numbers, I try to combine some of these things to make it pretty straightforward. The demolition, we are 100% complete with over $300,000 worth of work done there. That includes concrete removal, bridge removal, and asphalt removal, as you can see in this photo. Underground systems is approximately 95% complete, which is over $3.7 million worth of work. This includes the potable water system, the non-potable water, and storm drain system. Our concrete work is 90% complete. That exceeds $1.4 million worth of bid item work. This work includes curb, gutter, and sidewalk, raised median islands, and decorative concrete. As you can see, this is a picture of our roundabout in the southern area with a decorative concrete on the truck apron. Also, asphalt. Placement of asphalt is about 95% complete. That's over $2.6 million in infrastructure items. This is a photo of Tykert paving Elmira Road at the intersection of Leisuuretown and Elmira. Bridge work is approximately 90% complete. This is $1.2 million worth of work. This includes the structural concrete, the footings, and the bridge deck. It does not include the roadway approach to the bridge. In this photo here, you can see crews placing concrete for the bridge deck. Some of the challenges that we've had ongoing were utility conflicts. In this photo here, you could see our storm drain pipe and an existing gas line pipe. In this size of a job, utility conflicts are very common. So just want to give you an example of some of the challenges here. Other challenges include working around existing utilities. Here we have the power poles right in the middle of our roadway section. And it's difficult to see, but we have stakes that are in an X right here. That's where we have a shallow gas line. In the next slide, you'll have a better look at that. Another challenge that we had out there was yielding subgrade. This is due to a lot of the wet weather we had last winter, including the rain that went into April and a couple showers in May. And in addition, you could see this concrete cap that we had to install to protect the gas line because it is a shallow gas line. Some of the additional challenges we had were abandonment of 2 agricultural wells and coordinating work with various utility companies. These included SID with some irrigation leaks where they had crossings under our road, PG&E with relocating the overhead lines, as you may have saw in the previous photo, and AT&T relocating the overhead lines. And this is an ongoing challenge. If you go out to Elmira Road and Leisuuretown and you go north on Leisuuretown, you will see 4 poles still in the middle of our Leisuuretown Road. Ongoing work, this is work that will be ongoing to complete the project, includes finishing the utilities and the road work at the bridge, basically tying in the road to the bridge at New Alamo Creek, installing the traffic signals and finishing the streetlights, completing the minor concrete work. There's still a couple raised median islands that need to be installed now that we've completed a large portion of our asphalt placement, installing the signs and striping throughout the project, and of course, the landscaping to be done. Again, I've had a lot of assistance from in-house staff as well as the consultants I managed earlier. So basically, at this point, that kind of concludes my presentation. So if there's any questions besides this one, then I'll try to answer this one to the best I can, okay?
We do have a light on for a question. I just want to say before we ask questions, or tell you that, we've been satisfied with it, but the public hadn't really understood exactly what was going on, and I think that's really the only reason that we wanted to have some briefing by the people firsthand rather than us trying to relay information. So I appreciate that.
No, and that's fine, and I've dealt with various people of the public too, returning phone calls with questions and things like that they've had. So the main question seems to be, when do you anticipate the project to be done? And that's kind of like a loaded question to me, okay? So I want to just go over a few things. Right now, we are anticipating Leisuuretown Road, which includes the bridge portion, to be open to traffic, 1 lane each direction on December 1st. Okay, this will also include some of the side streets north of Alamo. We are anticipating spring of 2018, this coming spring, to where it will be open to 4 lanes, 2 in each direction with traffic control, with the traffic signals functioning. The reason why we're keeping it to 1 lane is we don't have the traffic signals up yet, and therefore we will have all stop at all 4 of the major intersections. That includes Elmira and Leisuuretown, Marshall and Leisuuretown, Alamo Fry, Leisuuretown, and then Redstone and Sawyer, Leisuuretown, the 2 cross streets there. Again, spring, we'll have it open to 4 lanes. It's anticipated, depending on how much of a winter we get this year. Again, 4 lanes, 2 in each directions with a signal. As far as council acceptance, we're probably looking in the fall of next year after 3 months of plan establishment, punch lists are complete, other types of items. So the real substantial complete is looking in the spring. However, a lot of work has been done and traffic will start moving onto both sides of the project over the next month.
Okay, Councilman Ashburn?
Real quick, thank you very much for coming out to share this with everybody. I live over in that neighborhood, and I get a lot of questions all the time from folks, and they expect us to know the intimate details of the project, and we don't. And so when you share like this publicly and in this venue, it really will help us with those questions. One in particular for me, though, is there anything that we can do, maybe with like a governmental affairs person at AT&T, to get those poles out of the middle of the street there? I have literally myself witnessed one of those poles almost being removed by somebody in a pickup truck because they're not reflected. At night, you can't see those, and they're in the middle of the street. And there's still 4 or 5 of them left right there, and the other one was almost taken out by a Tykert front loader. So what do we have to do to get AT&T to move the poles out of the middle of the street?
Yeah, I wanted to.
I'll be happy to answer that question. In addition to working with PG&E and Comcast, utilities, and AT&T for over 2.5 years in preparation of this project, staff has been having regular coordination meetings with the folks from both PG&E and AT&T. What remains to be done is the removal of the fiber optic cable on the overhead lines that's north of Elmira, and it's strictly an AT&T operation. There is a great deal of fiber optic splicing that has to occur. These items weren't properly scheduled, and unfortunately, it's come to the point at which the project is ready to release traffic, but the poles are still in the middle of the road. So we've been working with AT&T, close in coordination with them. We've met with staff at every level that we can get meetings with, and including the Director of Public Works meeting with governmental affairs people at AT&T and PG&E both. Our hope is that they get those fiber optic cables spliced so that their service, the providers, or they provide service to the likes of Genentech and Kaiser. Those facilities need to approve their outage request and allow them to relocate the lines onto the new poles. We're hoping that that will occur before the end of the year, sooner if possible. The only thing that we can do as the City Public Works Department is to engage in these meetings as far ahead of time as possible on future projects. We felt we were doing that. I think that part of the problem with this specific project was the state budget delayed the project a couple of years between the STIP funding that was allocated to it, and we weren't allowed to maintain the schedule we initially had anticipated, and I think the utility companies maybe felt we weren't
Maybe
really
a simple
prepared.
answer is to put some reflective tape or something around them, get AT&T if you have to get their approval to, do something just so you don't hit them at night.
Yeah, we can certainly
Let them know
look
the
into
council's worried about it. We don't want to see anybody who lives in Vacaville getting hurt and injured, right? No reflection on you guys. You guys have made the effort, obviously, but can somebody express to them that there's an issue, somebody's going to get hurt, and if it's just a matter of a couple of meetings,
We can certainly look into that.
Yeah, I could look into that and have the contractor. I know we have water barrels out in front for crash attenuation, but there's other items that we could do. We could also put out a type 3 barricade around that area that has reflective on it.
I may add just one thing with regard to public notice. Staff and the inspection staff and engineering staff has worked very closely with the Public Information Office, and we do maintain a web page on the city's site that indicates the progress and status of work, and we've tried to make that available to the public to give them as much detail as possible. We're looking into enhancing that effort on future projects that impact traffic. So, thank you.
Vice Mayor Harris.
In regard to the public information, I just want to commend you, your whole team, for the work that you've done with the public, because you've been very available, and the steps that you've taken to notify the public through the website and through other means of communication has been really important. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I don't see any other questions. Thank you very much for the presentation. We can now refer people at Channel 26 and 99. Thank you.